Hello and welcome. Let me ask you a question that might shock you. Did you know that taking your daily vitamin D and B12 supplements may only be solving half of your muscle loss problem? A recent study from the Tufts Health and Nutrition Letter found that even among seniors with optimal vitamin D levels, muscle strength still declined by an average of 3 to 5% per year. That means that even if you're doing everything right according to your blood tests, your body is still getting weaker. So, if the common pills aren't working, what specifically are we missing? If you've experienced that frustrating feeling of having less strength for everyday tasks, maybe that jar top is tighter or your balance is just a little off, I want you to know you are not alone. For too long, we've been told to focus on these two vitamins. But what if the true key to keeping your muscles strong well into your 70s and 80s isn't in a supplement bottle at all, but in a simple, overlooked nutrient? My name is Frank Taylor, and at 68 years young, I've spent a lot of time thinking about these very questions. Now, I want to be clear. I am not a medical doctor or a geriatrician. My journey over the past decade has been a bit different. I've dedicated my retirement to being a sort of health detective for folks just like us. I spend my days digging into the latest clinical studies, and I want to emphasize that all the research I mention will always be linked in the description below every video, so you can check it for yourself. My goal is to take that complex scientific information and turn it into practical advice that we can actually use in our daily lives. And one of the most surprising truths I've found is this. You can take all the vitamin D and B12 in the world, but without hitting a very specific leucine threshold in your meals, your muscle growth switch remains off. Before we dive in, I'm curious. Are you currently taking vitamin D, B12, or both? Type D, B12, or both in the comments right now. Your answer helps me understand our community better. In today's video, we are going to cover 3 key things that finally complete the puzzle of muscle health. First, I'll reveal the missing link nutrient that works with B12 and vitamin D to actually stop sarcopenia. It's the on switch you never knew you were missing. Second, we'll debunk the common myth that you simply need more protein to solve muscle loss. I'll show you the specific threshold you must hit to make a difference. And finally, I will share with you 3 specific foods and a simple daily protocol. The Leucine Loading Lunch you can use to start feeling that strength difference in the next 2 weeks. Let's start with the surprising truth about the real engine of muscle growth, the core problem, sarcopenia, and the missing key. So, let's start with what's really happening when your muscles dwindle. This process, called sarcopenia, is often blamed on low vitamin D and B12. While they are undoubtedly crucial for bone health and overall metabolism, they are essentially only the support staff for muscle building. Imagine a massive factory. Vitamin D and B12 are the delivery drivers and the floor managers. They ensure the building materials arrive and the environment is safe. But they don't actually build anything. The real engine of muscle growth needs one more key, a command from the control room: leucine. Leucine, the essential on switch. Leucine is not just any amino acid. It is one of the 3 branched-chain amino acids, and it has a unique function in the body. Think of it as the ultimate molecular signal. Leucine is the specific nutrient that activates a pathway in your body called mTOR, the mammalian target of rapamycin. I know that sounds complex, but just think of mTOR as the master computer for muscle protein synthesis. When you consume leucine, it's like typing the command "Start muscle building now" into the master computer. This is why we call leucine the on switch for muscle building. Without enough leucine, even if you have perfect levels of vitamin D and B12, the master computer remains in sleep mode. The visual metaphor, the concrete mixer analogy. Let's use our construction site analogy again. Vitamin D is the construction manager who gets the project going. B12 is the transportation truck that brings the supplies, the water, the gravel, the cement mix. But leucine? Leucine is the foreman with the key that turns on the concrete mixer. Without the foreman, the manager and the trucks are just sitting there. They are ready to work, but the most important machine, the one that actually makes the muscle, is offline. This is why you feel weaker despite taking your pills. The scientific truth: anabolic resistance. This isn't a theory. This is a biological fact that becomes critical as we age. A landmark 2021 review in the Journals of Gerontology found that a high intake of leucine was significantly correlated with greater lean body mass and functional strength in older adults, regardless of their overall protein intake. The core problem we face in senior health nutrition is something called anabolic resistance. You see, when we were in our 30s, even a small amount of leucine was enough to flip that mTOR switch. Our muscles were highly sensitive. But due to a combination of age, changes in hormone levels, and decades of inflammation, our muscles become resistant to that signaling. It's like the on switch gets rusty. We need a much stronger signal, a higher dose of leucine, to flip that switch than we did decades ago. This is the truth about sarcopenia prevention that the generic supplement companies simply don't tell you. They sell you vitamin D, but they ignore the missing leucine key. Now I'm curious. Have you ever been told by a doctor or nutritionist to focus specifically on leucine? If you have, type yes, leucine in the comments. If not, type no. It helps me gauge how far ahead of the curve our Golden Years nutrition community is. The myth: just eat more protein. Now, let's address the most common and misleading piece of advice given to us as we age. Just eat more protein. You could follow this advice perfectly, maybe adding a scoop of generic low-quality protein powder or eating an extra piece of chicken, and still feel that frustrating strength decline. Why? Because this advice misses the critical flaw when fighting sarcopenia. Not all protein is created equal. You could eat 100 grams of total protein a day, but if that protein is spread out in small amounts or comes from sources that are low in leucine, you are missing the key signaling component. You are feeding the workers, but you are not flipping the on switch. It's a waste of effort, calories, and, frankly, money. This is the core difference between total protein intake and leucine threshold signaling. The scientific reality, the leucine threshold. This is where the science gets specific. Research from the University of Texas Medical Branch, a leader in geriatric nutrition, has demonstrated a concept called the leucine threshold. They found that the body needs to reach a very specific, concentrated amount of leucine in the bloodstream to effectively activate the mTOR pathway we discussed. This threshold is typically about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single serving. If you take 1.5 grams of leucine, the switch barely moves. You need that powerful, concentrated dose. Imagine trying to start your old car on a cold morning. One small turn of the key won't do it. You need a big, powerful crank to get that engine turning over. The 2.5 to 3 gram threshold is that powerful crank. Why timing and quality matter. This threshold concept explains why eating a lot of low-quality protein sources or simply grazing on protein throughout the day is ineffective for fighting senior health sarcopenia. If you eat a small 20-gram protein snack in the morning and another small 20-gram snack in the afternoon, you never hit that concentrated leucine threshold. Instead of activating the muscle synthesis switch twice, you end up activating it 0 times. You might as well have just eaten half an apple. Your body can't store up those small signals and combine them later. It's an all-or-nothing event. This is the key takeaway. For muscle building in older adults, it's not about the quantity of protein over the entire day. It's about the quality and concentration of leucine in your most effective meals. The right solution: leucine-dense foods. So, if more generic protein isn't the answer, what is? The true solution lies in nourishing our bodies with leucine-dense foods. These are powerful compounds that act like the high-octane fuel, that strong, clean-burning crank, to fire up that concrete mixer of muscle synthesis we talked about earlier. We need to stop thinking about protein in terms of grams and start thinking in terms of leucine signaling power. The most common leucine-dense foods are often surprisingly accessible and cheap, but they require a very intentional way of eating. We must aim to concentrate the leucine in a single meal, setting the stage for the solution. In the next section, I'm going to reveal exactly how to put this science into action. I'll share 3 of my absolute favorite, surprisingly affordable and easy-to-digest foods that practically guarantee you hit that 2.5-gram leucine threshold. But first, if this research has surprised you, please hit the like button right now. Your support tells me that I should keep digging into the science of senior health nutrition for you. 3. Leucine superfoods that flip the switch. So, if simply eating more protein isn't the solution, how do we intentionally nourish our bodies with enough leucine to overcome anabolic resistance and fight sarcopenia? The answer lies in strategic food selection. Our goal is simple: to hit that critical 2.5 to 3 gram leucine threshold in at least one highly effective meal per day. Forget complicated supplements and expensive powders. I want to share 3 of my absolute favorite, surprisingly affordable and easy-to-digest foods that are specific allies in the fight against senior health nutrition, sarcopenia. These are foods I rely on myself at 68 years young to keep my strength and energy high. Superfood number 1, ricotta cheese. The first food might surprise you: ricotta cheese. Most people think of ricotta only for baking or heavy Italian dishes, but it is a silent powerhouse in the fight against muscle loss. Unlike many other cheeses, ricotta is made primarily from whey protein, which is incredibly rich in leucine. Just half a cup of part-skim ricotta has nearly 2.8 grams of leucine, hitting that critical muscle-building threshold almost perfectly. Pro tip for application: don't eat it alone. Add half a cup of ricotta to your scrambled eggs in the morning, or mix it into a small bowl with a few berries and a drizzle of honey. It's a quick, easy, and satisfying way to guarantee you start your day with that crucial leucine signal. Look for brands with minimal added sugars, or even better, whole milk ricotta if you are not worried about fat content. The slightly higher fat helps the nutrients absorb better. Superfood number 2, edamame. The second food is a fantastic, cheap, and easily digestible plant-based option: edamame. For those who prefer a non-dairy option or just want to add powerful vegetables to their routine, edamame is a game changer. About 1 cup of shelled edamame delivers over 2.1 grams of leucine, along with essential muscle-supporting fiber and iron. While 2.1 grams is slightly under the 2.5 gram threshold, it is incredibly easy to combine with another small protein source to bridge that gap. The simplicity is the genius. You can buy it frozen, steam it in minutes, and it makes a perfect afternoon snack. Pro tip: replace your high-carb, low-protein afternoon crackers or chips with a bowl of salted edamame. This small dietary change is a powerful, low-cost way to get vital leucine into your day, actively working against sarcopenia. Remember, we are not just snacking, we are strategically fueling our muscle recovery. Superfood number 3, tuna or salmon. My third favorite option combines leucine with other essential senior health nutrients. This is canned tuna or salmon. We often eat these for the omega-3s, but they are also a leucine powerhouse. A simple 3-ounce serving of canned tuna or salmon provides around 2.5 grams of leucine, hitting our target dead on. But here's the key benefit. These fatty fish are also a fantastic source of vitamin D. This completes the full circuit. The healthy fats and the vitamin D create the optimal environment, and the leucine provides the necessary signal to build muscle. Pro tip: make a simple tuna or salmon salad sandwich using whole grain bread for lunch. Just be sure to check the labels for low-sodium options. This one meal provides the foundation, the vitamin D, the healthy fats for absorption, and the critical leucine threshold to prevent muscle loss in seniors. The Leucine Loading Lunch strategy. The transition from why to how. Knowledge is powerful, but only when we put it into action. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed trying to calculate leucine at every meal. That's not practical. We are going to make this simple, detailed, easy to do, and cheap. Just focus on this one simple, actionable rule that I call the Leucine Loading Lunch approach. This strategy works because it concentrates your effort and your best nutrition when your body needs it most, during the middle of the day when metabolism is active and you have the best chance to activate that mTOR switch. The simple protocol, the 3 rules. Here is the simple, practical, daily protocol you can start today. The leucine rule. Aim to hit that 2.5 gram leucine threshold in one single meal per day, preferably lunch or immediately post-physical activity. Remember, this is the strong crank you need to turn the engine over. You get a much better result with one strong leucine meal than 3 weak ones. The ricotta recharge. For an easy breakfast or afternoon boost, make a habit of adding half a cup of ricotta to your eggs, oats, or a small smoothie. This is your insurance policy to ensure you are getting quality protein early on. The colorful pairing. Always pair your leucine-dense food with at least 3 different colors of vegetables or fruits. Why? The micronutrients, polyphenols, and fiber in those colorful foods optimize your digestion and reduce the inflammation that contributes to anabolic resistance. The leucine hits the switch, and the colors clear the pathway, applying the strategy in real life. Let's look at a practical example. Bad lunch. Low leucine. A simple chicken salad sandwich made with a small amount of lean chicken, maybe 1.5 g leucine, and white bread. Ineffective. Leucine Loading Lunch, high leucine. A 3-ounce can of salmon, 2.5g leucine mixed with avocado, served over a bed of spinach with a few cherry tomatoes. 3 colors. Effective. This isn't just about food, it's about intelligent eating for your age. By being intentional about when and how you eat your protein, you are taking control of your muscle destiny and actively reversing the effects of sarcopenia, the 7-day challenge. So here is my challenge for you. For the next 7 days, I challenge you to implement the Leucine Loading Lunch strategy. Don't worry about being perfect. Just aim to hit that 2.5-gram threshold once a day. Try it and pay attention to how you feel. Notice your ability to lift that gallon of milk, or how much easier it is to get up off the couch. Pay attention to your energy levels, your clarity of mind, or your joint comfort. Just try it. Summary and key takeaways. To quickly recap, we learned that vitamin D and B12 are only half the answer to sarcopenia. The missing link is leucine, which acts as the on switch for muscle building. We debunked the myth that more generic protein is the best solution, and we discovered the power of leucine-dense foods like ricotta, edamame, and tuna to hit that critical 2.5-gram threshold. Remember, building a healthier life is a journey, not a destination. It's about making small, consistent choices every day. I would love to hear from you. Which of the 3 leucine foods will you try first? Ricotta, edamame, or tuna? Share your choice in the comments below. I read every one. If you found this information helpful, please click the thumbs up button. Share it with a friend or family member who might benefit from better senior health nutrition. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.